Hello, everyone, and welcome back to some more Pokerole. This is going to be episode or session, I guess you can call it either, 160, where we are reaching a crescendo point, probably not the conclusion, but a crescendo point of our adventures, our side quest into this afflicted town, inflicted with a mysterious disease, which seems to be more than just a disease, since we have a culprit behind it. And we got through the intro village, going up to the city, which I forgot, Halfcliff, and we are now in the city proper, which I don't think we ever named. I don't remember if it got a name, actually, but the main city of this settlement on this peninsula. And we explored through a lot of different places through the city, had little adventures, split up quite a bit, and we're gonna see what happens this session. We had met the resistance. I'll let Car do most of the recap, but I'm recapping before the recap too, because there's a recap of stuff before the recap. Big adventure. Watch the episodes. Anyways, we're gonna continue today, and we'll see what happens. But before I start, if you like the video, do think about giving it a like, maybe subscribing if you'd like to do that, maybe coming over to Twitch and watching this stuff live if you'd like to do that as well. Whether you want to lurk or talk, we have a lurk option for you if you want to do that. And yeah, think about coming over and hanging out. We also have a pretty cool Discord community you can check out, as well as a Pokerole Discord subcommunity you can check out off of that. We have a link from that Discord to that one, so check it out if you want to go over there. And we have a Ko-fi link if you want to help us directly monetize the content. Very much appreciated if you might consider it. Every little bit helps. And let's see if we can fill this February bar we have at the top. We did amazing on January, so let's see. But also, we have a merch store if you want to check that out. And of course, if you want to know more about our Pokerole game, 160 episodes. We already have a few people commenting about, wow, it's so many. And we also have some new viewers. We've actually gotten some comments, like on episode 0 and 1, about people being like, oh, I'm going to look forward to watching all this. So it's really great to see new people getting into the game. But we have a wiki if you want to check out things there. We have recaps there, character descriptions, etc. Helps you get into the game if you are new to watching and are interested. PokerPioneers.mirroruse.org. Check it out. But yeah, those are our links. And I will say I am having some health issues, throat issues. So I might have a little trouble with my voice today. If I sound a little weird, that's why. But we'll see how things go. And I already asked this technically, but yeah, how's everybody doing on the table? I like to ask that for the video too, because people care.
I'm doing well.
I'm doing all right.
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, Kyra's doing pretty good. Launching a new Patreon for game development.
Oh yeah, I did do that recently.
We did do that. I'm gonna help plug that a little bit. I may as well mention it a little bit. But yeah, we'll talk about it more in other episodes, because in other streams it might be a little more relevant. But yeah, it's a cool thing. I hope it goes well, honestly. And Tubby, I think, is doing super duper, he said. He may not exist at this moment, though, so it's hard to say. But I think he is.
Entirely possible they may have been pulled away briefly.
It's alright. But yes, I think I'm good. I think I said everything I was supposed to.
Well, I suppose it's about time we get the recap going. Also, I'm not sure if those colors are entirely what we had them at before. I just altered them because I remembered that we made them roughly extra purpley.
Yeah.
Because, oh boy, last time was a doozy of a session. Last time was session 159. Long live the Queen. While Ryda continued to examine their surroundings, they soon chance upon Ralph being attacked by the obsidian purloin statue. Assuming Ralph would be able to handle it fine enough on his own, they leave him be and delve deeper into the city, deciding it may be plausible to disguise themselves amongst any potential crystal-blighted individuals. They use their psychic powers to make more illusory crystals on their body. As Ralph sees the statue readying to attack, he drops Luxio and charges at it with a Giga Impact, shattering it into pieces before it could do any damage. After chuckling over how easy the fight was, he picks Luxio back up and checks if they're okay. Luxio warns Ralph that, with the statue broken, the guards will likely be alerted and figure out that he'd been trying to deceive them, and the two hurry to find shelter among the buildings so Ralph can hear what's been going on. Luxio tells Ralph that she knows somewhere they won't be spotted, and tries to give directions while pretending to be caught. Luxio leads Ralph into an abandoned store and reveals a secret trap door under a rug. The door leads into a dugout passageway where the pair travel down until they come across a wide room filled with a large assortment of other Pokemon, along with a set of worn-out weaponry and a map of the castle town. As Ralph quips about this group being some secret resistance group, they hear a familiar dry comeback from a nearby deadpan Torracat wearing a large witch's hat. He immediately recognizes the Torracat as Litten from Team Mischief, and informs the team that the rest of Team Cheer are here as well to help with the situation. The two felines inform him that Purloin had been put under the influence of the crystals while they had been trying to figure out what was happening to the city, and has now been stuck in the castle and is being treated as some squire to the king. As for what they do know about the condition, a Tyro covered in bandages comes over and reveals a large number of crystals adorning his body. They explain that, as the Tyrogue's body was too weak to pose much of a threat while under the Nidoking's influence, they'd agreed to keep him around to have an easy study over how the crystals affect a Pokemon's body and mind. He testifies that while your mental faculties are able to be maintained when so many crystals are on your body, it all comes down to either the Nidoking decides to control you, under which you become completely unable to resist command. After hearing about the struggles the group had been facing, Ralph warns them that he worries Ryda may try to do something during the upcoming royal address. Torracat is somewhat frustrated by this and orders Luxio to remain with the group to get some much-needed rest, while she joins Ralph in trying to track down Ryda, hoping to make sure they get out okay. Luxio reluctantly agrees, and Torracat directs Ralph down a passageway to hopefully sneak their way to the royal address. This is a big recap, by the way, so tuck in, everyone.
The royal address.
Indeed. Meanwhile, once a group of patrolling guards pass by the border wall, Tucker and Brooke meet up to figure out how to get through said wall. Having seen Ryda and Ralph seemingly having gotten through already, they agree to have Tucker try to use Connection to direct his Shadow Sneak to one of their locations. Brooke suggests trying to follow after Ryda for now, seeing how they have been acting out of sorts ever since they began approaching the city. Tucker is eager to pull the two of them into a shadow and sense Ryda's current emotions, which isn't hard right now, allowing him to bring the two of them right underneath the Curlia, which catches Ryda off guard in the process. When the two ask Ryda if they are okay, and if they'd seen Ralph, Ryda informs them that they saw Ralph carrying a Luxio a short while ago. Wondering if that Luxio may have been Shinx from Team Mischief, they ask Ryda where they saw him, and agree to go after him. Ryda informs the two that they intend to find where the audience is meant to be held, and Brooke agrees that it would likely be easier to remain discreet if Ryda does that on their own. However, he asks for Ryda and Tucker to send each other a signal through telepathy should something important happen. Sorry for the pause, but I'm remembering that Tucker is a dark type.
I believe it was supposed to be through Ralph, but kinda
Right.
on the wrong
Wait.
side of that.
Wait,
Right,
wait,
no.
what's the note? What are you knowing that for?
Well, because without, a twisted spoon, telepathy doesn't really work all that well on a dark type.
Oh, that's right. Wait, who tried that telepathy on Tucker?
So, I think Kyrio has the right of it. I think the plan was to, telepath. Maybe someone erroneously said Tucker when they meant Ralph, because Ralph can be a receiver for that. Anyway, moving on.
Okay.
It would not surprise me if one of us said something incorrect. With that, the group hear the sound of a cheering crowd, and Ryda heads in that direction. Sort of. As they do, they begin planning how to defeat the Nidoking during the royal address. However, when they do, they realize that even if they succeed to executing their target, that wouldn't give them any further answers as to what happened in the kingdom. As such, they change their objective, and decide to try to infiltrate the castle while the guards are preoccupied with the royal address and patrols. Soon, the path towards the castle is blocked by a pair of castle guards, explaining that Ryda is to go to the plaza to attend the royal address. Taking after Ralph's example, they attempt to utilize their disguise and their own knowledge of the area to feign also being a guard, only to be treated as someone trying to get a better view of the address. Disappointed at their failure, Ryda reluctantly commits to finding an alternative route that would allow them to slip past. Soon after, they reach the walls surrounding the castle and spots a number of archers surveying the area from their vantage points. As Tucker and Brooke avoid being spotted by patrolling guards, they continue trying to ascertain Deadeye and Liar's location by tracking their scent. Eventually, they come across a building where something seemed to have crashed through the roof surrounded by guards, and they move to check out the inside. After dealing with a pair of guards that were investigating inside the building, Brooke calls out to ask if Deadeye and Liar are there, only to receive no response. Figuring the two must have left as soon as they got their bearings straight, Brooke and Tucker escape the building, keeping an ear out for the patrolling knight outside. They continue to try following their comrade's scent, but the trails end up too faint and overwhelmed by the scent of the ocean. Tucker suggests trying to reconvene with Ralph instead, and hope Deadeye will manage to keep himself and Liar safe, to which Brooke agrees. Now following Ralph's scent, Tucker leads himself and Brooke into an abandoned store. Tracking the scent leads them to quickly locate the secret trapdoor and jump down. The sound alerts the resistance group, and Luxio travels to the pair's location with a Tyrogue and a Chansey, warning the two to identify themselves if they were intruders. Brooke quickly alerts Luxio of who they were, and she immediately apologizes for scaring them, and notifies them that Ralph had left with Torracat a short while ago. As he overhears the name Torracat, Brooke excitedly asks if Purloin had evolved along with the two of them, but the question notably worries Luxio, who doesn't answer immediately. She invites the two to follow her to the base to take a break and evaluate their next course of action. As Ralph and Torracat travel through the passageway, she explains that she is leading the Snorlax toward a secret door into the basement of the city's church, which will lead them close to where the royal address will be held. While they talk about the current situation, Torracat shares one piece of information they had decided not to mention with the resistance group around. The king currently holds someone important to the civilians within the castle as leverage to prevent them from doing anything drastic. Eventually, Torracat lets them know that they've reached their destination and squeezes through an opening in the wall to enter the basement of a chapel storing many coffins. Before exiting the basement, Torracat makes one reluctant request of Ralph, that, even if she and Luxio may hate the possibility of it, Ralph must be willing to finish off their teammate should Purloin get in the way of their goals. Once the two exit the church, Torracat does what they can to mask their presence by feigning being Ralph's scarf. And they begin to approach the gathering crowds to watch the royal address. As they look over the knights, Ralph reluctantly recognizes a pair of familiar faces, Sir Cheval and Calvin, both forcibly fused together through the crystals adorning their bodies. The address begins, and a large Nidoking steps out onto a balcony to the crowd of bowing Pokemon. He alerts the people that the guards stationed at Half Cliff have been defeated, and that a group of Pokemon have infiltrated the town. However, he boldly declares that they will soon be dealt with, and that those loyal to him have no need to fear. He adds that if any would still doubt his words, to hear it from their queen, as he steps aside to allow a crystal-adorned Nidoking to stand at the edge of the balcony. She declares her name, Artemisia the Fourth, and that those who would threaten the kingdom, if they do not expose themselves now and accept her mercy, will only face the grim fate of a blade. As the crowd erupts into cheers, Torquat whispers something to Ralph, that the noble words uttered by the Queen are nothing more than just another extension of the control of the Neo-King. And now, session 160.
Ralph just Tubby's staffing it up a little bit.
I am relishing this because I know because I know my party member is squirming up a storm, but
oh, the relish.
but this is delightful.
I added one thing to the music card because I forgot to hit loop, but the next song was so appropriate I didn't even notice it was playing the wrong song. E249 was also perfectly fine for the recap, so I just kind of played it without noticing.
I just love these high stakes, and then you get like high authority involved too, to tangle it up even more. It just oh.
Well, that's fine, because we can now change to events 154.
See, mostly just saying, to keep that entry I added, because I need that too now.
Yes.
Okay, it is loading everything now, but it still takes like half a second before it decides to. But at least he's doing it.
Yeah,
okay.
At least we don't have to hover.
Yeah. There.
Also, to my knowledge, I think Hydra came up with a name for the city. I just don't remember it. I'm sure it's somewhere.
I think that was the discussion.
I was supposed to, but I forgot to, because,
I don't think you were supposed to. It was more just, maybe Ryda will remember the name of this place, because they might know it.
Yeah,
I think that was what was openly said.
Because I also still have not given it a name, and I know you were pitching names to people in chat previously. So.
I can't remember.
Oh, right, I did. I forget which one it was.
Oh no, it's fine. You can probably.
Wait, did we actually? Yeah, we did have name suggestions last time. I don't remember.
There was. I forgot what it was. It was something to do with Groudon and Kyogre.
Oh, right.
If it would be in the probably in the VOD. I just don't know where to look.
Yeah, we can find it later. But yeah, now I remember.
Okay, I have it written down.
Oh, you do?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
There you go.
Because I wrote it down in a private thing, so I didn't forget. There, I put it in the Pokerole channel thing. Yes, Kyodon.
That's right.
Oh.
That's right.
Right. Yeah, I remember now.
I did it.
Also, everybody had like a little discussion about that whole telepathy thing in the chat. I honestly feel like maybe Tucker was given the option of having a ping. It's possible. It's not possible to give Tucker telepathy, like a pure psychic ping, because of the dark typing. But if it was through connection and empathy, it'd be possible to give a ping.
Yes.
So I don't know.
Especially with a teammate.
That may have been it.
So. Who wants to roll the Doom die to see where we're starting?
Me. I haven't done it in a while.
Or does somebody want me to start on them?
Does anybody want to prioritize, or should I roll?
I mean, I can go first.
Okay.
All right.
I think that would be appropriate.
Ryda.
Yes.
You are not near the address. You are multiple streets over by the castle. But you have heard that voice. and you know deep down exactly who that ship belonged to. But everything you know screams that that is not possible. What do you do?
Ryda would immediately stop in their track as they hear that voice. Their body sort of frozen in this slight shaking. And immediately, like, without them even thinking on it, their body begins to move for them in that direction as fast as possible.
Alrighty, we have a map. Which way are you going? Because there is the main promenade.
Yeah, but people are in the way. I'm trying to get there and probably zip past the crowd here where Ralph is.
Okay. Are you doing anything particular, or are you running?
It'd probably be a mix of running and quick teleports just forward.
Okay. I require you to make the roll for teleport.
Okay. Special fight channel. I guess that
All
makes
right.
sense.
Ryda, you make it to roughly here where it opens out. As you're running and starting to teleport. And the knights from before stand blocking your path forward. As it seems that using your psychic ability to teleport around so recklessly has triggered some of their own senses. Because if you will recall, at least one of them was a Gardevoir.
Yeah, I do remember that. And I figured this would happen.
She draws her blade, staring you down. There is no emotion in those eyes. I see you did not take our advice. Why are you away from the address, citizen?
I'm trying to get there now, so if you would please move out of my way.
Go ahead and give me a tough contest perform at a -2.
Sure.
I will warn you, this will be difficult.
Sure. Yeah? That's a 6 for Lucky Chip.
Too savvy. But is it not savvy?
The other knight, a Kadabra, doesn't seem particularly impressed with your logic. Oh, you didn't need to get models for them, but I appreciate it.
Casual
If you
rule.
just...
Oh, sorry. Just casual rule. If a Pokemon shows up for 2 sessions, I usually generally get the one.
That's fair. I just gave them specific species because they were interacted NPCs. If you'd followed our advice, you'd be there already. And you wouldn't need to be teleporting now, would you?
Yes, that is correct.
Ryda has their scythe, right?
Yes.
Hmm. Hang on, I need to pull them up. Oh no. Hmm.
A carnivore and a cadaver. Makes sense, though, that they would detect this. So thank you, Neil.
A carnivore and a cadaver walk into a bar.
They both say ouch.
And then one of them says, I should have foreseen that we'd run into that.
That's good.
Do they have any? They don't. They can't.
They don't have one.
Ah.
Oh well.
Very well. You're letting them pass? What reason have they to lie? After all, even if they happen to be part of the Resistance, it would be a death sentence to do anything. She lowers her blade and steps aside. Go. Perhaps you shall catch our king's words.
Ryda looks at the both of them as they're about to run past, but stop for one step. My allegiance is always to the crown. And then runs ahead.
It's not a lie!
Wow, that one's even worse. 11 dice, and I can't get more than a 5. Goodness.
Ryda does not speak lie in this.
It's not a lie, but boy. Alright. You managed to make it up to... Sorry. Managed to make it up to this corner, right by the chapel. One that you have vague flashes of recollection in your memory. Yeah, don't worry, I'm sure they'll come back. It is here that the crowd of Pokemon has packed back to. How do you want to try navigating the crowd?
My go-to is always teleport, but something tells me I shouldn't do that. I want to try... Is there anything nearby Ryda could climb? Not onto the roof, but just so they can see over the crowd.
Well, the chapel would be a smidge difficult. But technically you could climb that. There is a trellis on one wall that you would be able to climb with a modicum of effort. There are several nearby buildings, and you do notice that there are Pokemon that are like along the edges of the rooftops over there, overlooking things because there's just that many of them. Though a number of them are flying Pokemon, so they had an easy time getting up there.
Hmm.
Including a couple of Murkrow.
Dang, what
I guess. Yeah.
If you were to... there is a small yard around the chapel that is barricaded by a fence, but it does look like there might be a way around there if you wanted to try that as well.
Ryda just needs to climb high enough where they can see into the courtyard.
Current tallest nearest building is the chapel. You could still climb on top of a couple buildings and make your way to a roof that gives you a view.
Are there any big Pokemon in front of me?
Biggest one is a somewhat distant figure that's actually towards the front of the group at the moment. You can give me an insight survival alert to see if you know who that is.
Because I was going to be like, hey, could one of you, like, lift me up so I can see? You said insight survival alert, right?
Yes.
Ralph, I notice you. Never mind. I don't notice you.
Oh no. It's okay, Tubby. Don't worry. We are not going to get to you immediately. I think Ralph might be the last one to get back to. So, yeah, that's Ralph. He's got what looks like a scarf on, but that's Ralph. You recognize the hat. That he is one of the tallest Pokemon currently present along this street actually is might be mildly concerning. You could just as the storyteller, you could also do the jumping on Pokemon's heads thing if you really wanted.
I know, I was thinking about that, but I'm like, that's a bit mean.
Is Ryda in a position?
Wait, no. I have an idea. Wait, could I use my psychic abilities to levitate myself upwards?
You could certainly try.
Again, my only thing I'm trying to do is go up enough so I can see the courtyard and then teleport to it.
Can you pick yourself up?
It picks self up using psychic or something.
Isn't psychic a little more visibly obvious, though? Even non-psychic types will probably pick up what you're doing if they pay any sort of attention.
It just looks like she's trying to get a better view.
Perhaps.
Speaking of, you could use psychic if you wanted. Otherwise, I would require a... I think I would say special survival channel.
Special survival channel, that would be 10 versus Dex Fight channel, which Dex Fight channel is slightly better.
Okay. Also creative move use, which I always find rewarding.
Just need a little hover. It's a 4.
That might be a little hover.
me as I make sure.
I
Really?
am looking.
I don't think that's
Will I
why.
just kill them right here, right now?
Oh, what? That sounds like an overestimation of your abilities, but we'll see.
No, I feel like Car's looking to see how he could kill me.
Oh, I thought you were like, can I just one-shot the main boss from here by myself?
No, I doubt that. Yeah.
I thought there was just an extreme amount of overconfidence happening. Oh, that's a good roll.
So
that's a
now,
perfect roll. That is a perfect roll.
all of the dice. Yeah, that's very rare. That's an entirely perfect roll.
We almost never see those. That's
yeah,
interesting.
really. By that logic, I'm guessing that within the next couple sessions, we'll see an entirely botched roll.
Oh gosh.
I've had zeros before.
So, Ryda, you begin to lift yourself up with psychic, because what are you if not an object? Yes. And I mean, worst case scenario, your scythe is an object. You can hang on to your scythe. It's whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You can totally witch broom this, or immovable rod, or whatever you need to imagine what you are doing. And as you start to reach a height where you can see over the crowd of things, you also see the aberrant form of Calvin and Sir Cheval merge together with the crystals. You see the Machamp standing guard, and you see them. You see standing at the side of her, the usurper. And she seems like you remember, but not. She has the, as I described last session, the crystal growth over one eye that looks like a blossoming flower, and she seems serious but serene right now as she is addressing her people. And you can tell that the Nidoking has begun to speak again, but the words don't register in your ears as your focus is stolen by her. Up until a shadow from above drapes over you. And lowering themselves with psychic ability is the one who trained you. Their arms crossed as they stare at you. Dark eyes boring into your soul. It's the Medichild that Ralph encountered earlier. And they are now blocking your entire view.
I have a question. It is a matter of how much can Ryda remember about their master?
How much do you want to remember?
I feel like, as Ryda's been here, their memory is rapidly coming back to them, whether they want to or not, and seeing, you know, people they used to know face to face. It's sort of like one of those things where someone has a flashback moment and like memories go whizzing past in their mind. Most of which are hazy, but Ryda can get the gist of what happened, who they were, and it sort of just hits them all at once.
We can move briefly to Events 151, which we haven't used in a while.
Oh boy.
The last memory you have of your mentor is of them telling you to run away. And you felt certain that they were also dead.
Oh. Well. I'd say with that knowledge in mind, Ryda's psychic levitation will sputter out as their mind gets distracted and they fall to the ground. And just sort of look up on their hands and knees towards their master. And just shock.
Dust and debris blows away as they begin to alight before you, and their arms drop with a very familiar and dangerous ringing as the crystal-laced weapons about their limbs drop to their wrists, loose and ready.
Ryda looks at the rings and immediately gets a sense of panic and sort of moves back away. They stammer on their words as they try to speak. How does... Just unable to get out a single phrase.
I remember you. They reply in a tone that is almost automatic, mechanical. You can see their eyes shift ever so slightly to the weapon that you bear. This is not what we taught you to use.
Ryda lowers their head. Yes, that is true. Forgive me, my weapon, it shattered.
They begin to slowly roll one arm, causing the rings to sing softly as they rub against one another. We told you to run, and here you are. What brought you back?
I did what you said. I ran as far as I could, and then some more. I kept traveling and traveling until I couldn't, till I eventually found my way to a library, and I lost my memory. I had fragments of what happened. I stood on entirely now, but some part of me brought me back here. And they look up towards them. What happened? Why is everything like this?
Your master's face is that of stone. And they snap the rings into their hand, stopping the sound. All you need to know is that we are rebuilding, and you will either help us or you will be removed.
Ryda hesitates before expressing. Yes, of course. My loyalty will never falter to the crown. I will do what I must.
Good. Then you will come with me, as they begin to rise into the air again, and you will swear fealty to our king.
Ryda winces at that last part, but nods without saying anything, and rises to their feet.
They motion with their other hand, and you begin to hover with them. What better occasion for the return of our errant knight? You are most welcome in rooting out the intruders. As they begin to glide backward toward the open plaza.
Ryda does not resist. They simply accept.
Alright, now I gotta find different music. Because I should swap scenes.
Could I ask a question? This is partially to help
Yes.
Ralph, or Tubby, because he was away for a little bit.
Yes.
Ryda saw the back of Tubby, or saw the back of Ralph before the scene happened. So Ralph isn't that far away, right?
He's not. And while I'm looking for music, Ralph, if you want, you can give me an insight survival channel to see if you can sense what's going on back there.
Insight survival channel, right?
Yes, because that is actually some relatively major psychic shit going on.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, like, he's focused, like, Ralph's focused on the address, but this just happened in the street just behind him, and he's also a psychic type, so just thinking, like, it wouldn't be impossible for him to pick up on any of this. Also, yeah, that's possible, Kyrio. Could be a bluff. Oh, wow, that's a good roll.
So, Ralph, you've been listening to this address. You've been taking in everything you can about what's happening in front of you. And you feel something, like a nagging itch at the back of your mind as this psychic stuff goes on behind you. Some sense that you haven't particularly had long enough to recognize on automatic what it is. It's this itch, a tug, a pull.
Indeed.
Is Ralph going to react to it in any way, or is he...
Let's see if we can't... let's see. Think of any of my moves. Yeah, I don't think any of my moves really came to this.
I think if Ralph
Yes.
simply looked back at the right time, he might notice visually what's going on a little bit.
Yeah, maybe look behind me where I feel the tug, yeah.
You look behind you in time to see the Medicham from before beginning to float, and you catch a glimpse of Ryda floating with them. And they are beginning to move towards the plaza. Keep that in mind, in case you want to formulate anything, as I swap scenes. We are going to move music back to Dungeons 131 because we are going back to the Resistance base.
Okay, let's see. Oh, yes.
Which is where Brooke and Tucker are at the moment. And the two of you have recently been filled in on the same things that Ralph was earlier in, like, not even 2 hours ago. That this resistance movement has been going on for a long time, and everyone here is a pioneer or a citizen or someone that has come from some team or other to provide medical aid for this situation that's been ongoing for a long time. And they are not in great shape, as the Tyrogue may evidence, given their very crystal-covered state. And Luxio, who Brooke has been calling Lucy, and I remember there was a specific little comment like, oh, I guess that's my name now.
I like that. It was good.
Everyone knows Brooke names people.
Yeah, Brooke just hands them out left and right. He doesn't care about the old traditions.
Hell yeah.
Has to remember that just as soon as they found the base, Tucker immediately picked up on the general emotional state of this. It's barely a resistance base, and Tucker can tell that. It's more like a waiting to fail base.
Yes. Like, and among the strongest and most experienced is this older Chansey that's currently just resting off in a corner at the moment. Like, they're probably paying attention, they've just got their eyes closed, but like, you could not blame them if they were sleeping, given that they've probably been dealing with this situation for a good while.
And when they're filled in, Tucker would pay, well, quite a bit of attention, particularly to Purloin. Because Luxio's despair in particular when they met at the end of last session was palpable.
Yes. Lucy did not divulge anything as yet in regards to her sister. But to re-describe the surroundings, you're basically in like an offset dugout chamber away from the cellar of the store that you went down. There's like crates, storage, some meager supplies, rusted or otherwise not great weaponry. There is a planning table that they've got some stuff on, including a map of the castle city, which will be our in-game stand-in for the map that we've got. Which, once again, thank goodness for the like fantasy/medieval city generator that I used.
Very good. Very helpful.
I believe it's made by Wadabu, and it's over a decade old at this point. And as far as the two of you can tell, there's a couple of ways out. There's probably like a side chamber somewhere that's being used to tend the injured directly, if possible. There's the passage back the way you came to the cellar in the abandoned store, and there's one that leads further in. But you have no idea what their little underground network looks like.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I think after Lucy gives a bit of a briefing about the current situation, Brooke will kind of give one of his own. Basically, like, more or less, we have two missions. Investigate the fate of everyone we sent this way, specifically the Mischief Makers, as well as Team Gallant, and also find more details about the quote-unquote epidemic and how to stop it. And it seems we've at least found two members of Mischief Makers.
I think Luxia already mentioned that Tarkat went with Ralph, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Lucy once again looks uncomfortable. She does not give Brooke any eye contact when he directly mentions the two members of Team Mischief Makers.
Brooke will kind of put a hand on her shoulder and say, I know it's not easy, but I need to know. Where is Purloin?
She draws in a breath to keep herself nice and steady and widens her stance and everything, puffing out her chest. But the second she lets out the breath, her eyes already begin to water. Big sister, she got hit and caught, and now she's in the castle most of the time. Sometimes Tora can see her through the windows. She's dressed like a squire. And we have no idea how to help her. And she looks up at Brooke. There's this deep fear in her eyes. Like, she might not be shaking or like sobbing, but she is terrified of the fate of her sister. And they're walking around with these black statue things that look like her, and they're making her help them, and it's not her fault, Brooke.
Brooke will
Please.
give her a hug and say, "It's all right. You don't have to hold it in."
And she just starts to cry into Brooke's shoulder, and like, she'll widen out her forelimbs as much as she can to hug Brooke. And then, like, there's the awkwardness of trying to also hug Tucker as Tucker moves in to nudge into the hug, being the emotional support dog that they are.
Tucker had a sense that this is where this would be going when he felt he felt Lucy's pain, especially when the eye contact thing and all. So he was ready to definitely give a little side nose.
She's the one who always had plans, and without her, Dora and I are just trying to keep everything together. And you can see us. It's so hard to fight. And any scratch is enough to start it.
Brooke pats her on the shoulder, say, "You guys have been doing great, but this is a pretty hopeless situation. I promise if there's anything I can do, I will save Purloin. But I also need you to listen to what I'm going to say next." And Brooke will pull out his knife and shift it into his broadsword. He'll stand on the table, and I'd like to, use the Warlord challenge to basically grab everyone's attention.
Do it. Roll it. While you do that, I'm going to very quickly use the bathroom. I've been drinking a lot of liquids.
Okay. Tough contest other. You know what? Can I? I don't know if I can augment that at all. Wish I could.
I'm pretty sure
Maybe
it's a
I
4
can.
because of Lucky Chant, though.
Oh yeah, you still. Well, I mean, yeah, that should still be active unless otherwise stated.
Because it hasn't actually been that long since we infiltrated.
Yeah. Yeah, I can share in fate with empathy for like negative things, but I can't really boost a positive result. That's more Brooks' turn.
Mm-hmm.
It's bravado.
Oh, Brooke is also going to ask something from Tucker, I think. I can get into that when Car's back.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. I guess to add to the scene while we wait, when it came to the topic of trying to save Purloin, at first it seemed like Tucker was going to jump to say something about that, but then Tucker restrained himself. It seemed like Tucker was eager to say they would before halting himself.
I return.
Yeah.
Before I do that, I'm actually going to ask Tucker for something, too. Brooke is going to look at Tucker and say, you saw the connections these crystals have to the usurper, right?
Tucker nods. To some extent, the usurper took a lot of my attention while I was doing that.
While I speak, I'd like you to try and cut them, if you can, from everyone in this room.
Tucker thinks for a second, hesitates, and brings up one thing. I could, Brooke. There's one thing I'm worried about, though. Well, you remember what happened to the one I connected with, the crystalline affected. He sort of blew up. I'm just worried that... I think he blew up. I'm pretty sure he died after that.
So, minor storyteller clarification, it was like an explosion, yes, but now they're just sort of like this big crystal mass in Halfcliff. You could not see into the crystal to see if they were still whole.
Oh, good point.
But they didn't do that thing that movies that are gratuitous in their gore do, and they explode the body everywhere. It was not that.
Okay, good to know. Tucker will finish by saying, but that being said, the usurper had all of his attention on me when that happened. I think he was trying to make a point. If I do it more quietly, maybe I can do it safely.
And if you can cut them, then he would have no way of triggering it, I think.
I just have to be the first one to react. I can try.
Do your best. I believe in you.
Tucker will nod. And presumably want to do this before the table scene, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Brooke will hop on the table from here.
Okay. What do I need to roll? I guess it would technically be...
An empathy or a sympathy roll, or you can pitch me something.
I'm thinking... Severine. Okay. Alright. I'm gonna pitch using... Yeah, it's gonna be sympathy. That's the more risky one, because it's the one that can take on burdens, and thus it can feed back at Tucker, but it's also more powerful in turn, we've learned, as well. Basically, it can have a negative effect, but generally has a more impactful effect. So sympathy... So what Tucker's going to do is use sympathy to try to connect with everyone in the room, which will take a second since it's everybody. And how many Pokemon are here?
No fewer than a dozen at the current moment, and there will probably be more after Brooke's call goes out.
Okay. Yeah, this is more than Tucker's ever connected with at once. I think the most before was the entire party, which would have been 3, maybe 4 if we had some, maybe 4 or 5.
Yes.
So
this would probably be the most Pokemon you've attempted to connect with at any given time.
okay, so this is going to be extra strange. Should I do anything with the roll?
Kyrio type. As a side note, if you can bring those connections to Brooke, that might be ideal, but will not download Miracle. You can definitely use Sympathy, and you can do Sympathy's roll if you want, which is Vitality Contest Perform.
Okay.
I
More or less, I'd like to basically assist Tucker in this task by giving his speech too.
Okay, so this sympathy should be happening during the tabletop.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's like
basically,
I want to usurp command
All right.
from the usurper.
Assuming direct control.
Yeah.
I have a thought then. I think Tucker will use sympathy, sustain it as and push into it to make sure it connects with everyone in the room, and then using the properties of dark types, we'll follow that up with a dark pulse afterwards to actually try to sever the connections to the usurper. Trying to wave a dark pulse across the room after connecting. I think that would be the most logical way to try to sever those connections. And then from there, Brooke can take over, if it works.
I need you to roll for sympathy 4 times. All of them will be at +2. Don't worry about the action penalty.
Okay, so all of them +2 and 4 of them. Okay. Let's see what we got.
Don't mind me filibustering as I look for music that would be good for this.
Okay. I also will just say that Tucker will put his all into it, and if it hurts him in some way or penalizes him, he'll still do it. Okay, so that's going to be Vitality, Contest Reform. Unfortunately, very good roll. That is 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 13 times 4. Okay, here we go. Wow. That was the weirdliest, most consistent roll set I've ever done, I think. Also, wow, that came out way better than I thought it would.
Yeah, that's very good. Pardon me. I am still looking for something good.
Take your time. Take your time. So, audience, if you can't see it, I rolled 13 dice 4 times. I got a result of 6, 6, 8, and 6. That is extremely good. It's not quite 50% on most of those rolls, but it's very close to that. I'd take it. I think consistency is more important than anything else with this. But yeah, the idea of when we do it later, I'll just explain while Carl looks through the song. The idea is basically dark typing is kind of like a black box when it comes to psychic energy, and by that extension, you could also consider it to affect probably non-psychic connections as well. Obviously, Tucker has the aspect of connection, and it obviously has nothing to do with psychic typing connection stuff. But I generally think that Tucker has the aspect of connection despite his dark typing, not because of it or not necessarily in synergy to it. So if he's using dark type moves that can affect connections, and indeed he can probably use dark type moves to really affect connections. Dark Pulse in particular is emotionally connected to Tucker, so it's a good thing for him to use in multiple situations, as we've seen throughout the course of the adventure. Dark Pulse can be just an attack, but it could also be, it's been a shield before, and it's also been used to shroud things or sever things in some circumstances. So I think it is a good thing. I always consider it to be the move that Tucker has the most emotional synergy with, I guess. Since it is about feelings. Dark Pulse is about feelings, canonically, so. Is there a name in the OG Japanese law disruptive potential? I don't know the OG Japanese name. What is that?
Dark type is evil type in Japanese.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Oh, yeah.
Evil.
Every villain is lemons.
League of Super Evil. Oh my goodness. That was one of the funniest short-lived shows ever.
I will also say that
Okay.
Tucker's kind of also moves to the middle of the room before doing this, and is very clearly straining and concentrating. And if there are any Pokemon that are emotionally perceptive, they might feel something out of it. Especially given those rolls, they're pretty strong.
All right. Apologies for the wait, everyone. I
No
hope
worries.
everyone has stretched and had water and things while I've been putzing about. Dungeons 246. I'm using dungeon songs uniquely today.
Nothing wrong with repurposing. The soundtrack categories are really just a suggestion. 246?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's just, as I skim, I know just by name alone that some of them just aren't fitting. Could have picked something a little more upbeat, but I know what's coming.
That's good concentration music, so I think it works.
All right, Brooke.
As Brooks stands on the table, he'll basically stab his sword into it, making a loud ringing noise, and say, "Hey, listen up!" Using his Warlord's challenge to grab everyone's attention.
Those that are nearby, of course, immediately give you their attention. Some look confused, some look a little bit dismissive. At least one rolls their eyes like, here we're doing this again. Which, when you notice that, you can very much imagine Purloin probably did something similar to what you're about to do.
Of course.
But from down the tunnel and some side chambers, other Pokemon begin to filter in. As many as can fit into this space. And Brooke and Tucker, you're realizing that there have been so many Pokemon over the years who have come here, or who are from here, that have been trying to deal with the usurper, with their rule. You know, and it throws into stark contrast. You've got something like maybe 40 Pokemon of various kinds packed into this room, possibly more. And it brings a sort of stark comparison of what you saw on the surface. Pokemon just going about their lives in a city that you had assumed would be full of just like mindless, crystal plague-ridden zombies. And it might even be enough to make you question how many of them are actually okay with what their life is now.
Mm-hmm. I think Brooke will start with another roll. He's going to roll Bravado.
Go for it. Is this on himself?
It's on everyone in the room.
Oh! Go ahead and add 2 dice.
Okay.
All right, and on 7 total successes, thanks to Tucker's connection rolls, you are going to reach them all. And many of them are weary, or like, dirty, or scuffed up, or like the Tyrogue, they may have the beginnings of the infection. But they are all looking at you.
Brooke will stand tall, giving all of the bravado his stature provides, and say, "What the hell is with the atmosphere in here, huh? Is this a resistance or a funeral? The usurper is off the throne right now. His guards are gathered around him, his castle is practically undefended, and you're all in here feeling sorry for yourselves? Your freedom has been taken from you, your families, your friends, your homes. I get it, though. Your bleeding numbers and your foe's power is overwhelming. If we act, nothing changes. If we don't act, nothing changes. But listen to me. If nothing we do will matter, then we might as well be already dead."
A uncomfortable silence follows what you said, and many of these Pokemon bow their heads. Some are gritting their teeth, clenching fists and claws, curling tails. And Tucker, you can feel it. You can feel this knot, like a ball of Ekans twisting tightly around each other in this room through your connection. You can feel that anxiety and hopelessness pulsating like a heart.
I'm now going to use Warlord's Toll for effect.
Ooh.
Okay. And yet, Tucker is not doing too hot. Connecting to this much despair from this many Pokemon at once is not doing him favors, though he's toughing it out.
Yeah, Brooke understands the burden he's putting on him.
It's fair.
He has a plan.
Tucker is Tucker accepted this.
So Tucker, I will have you roll Tough Contest Will. Max Will, not current.
Okay.
Brooke, instead of your regular Warlord's Toll, unless you're doing something specifically like visual with moves, or are you doing this socially?
Socially, we'll say.
Okay. So give me a strength contest instinct. Or sorry, strength contest perform instinct. It's just one extra die, but that's important.
I think that's 12. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. It's 11.
Well, at least that's a 4, Tucker. But
Might
you
be
are
mediocre,
feeling it.
But I'm okay with that after all the good rolls I had.
Yeah, you've never done this before. Also, oh my gosh.
Not quite both.
Okay, yeah, I'm okay with the 4.
Yeah, that is at least a 3.
I'm going to spend a couple wills to
Well,
that, if I can.
but before you do that, Scales is going to appear beside you and give you a reroll on that.
Oh, alright.
Scales is your lucky hat.
Specifically because it's social. Yeah, Tucker, you're feeling this. You have never done this before, and you're struggling to sort of funnel all these different threads, all these connections towards Brooke, especially with that barrier of negativity in the way. Also, that's so much better. Isn't Scales such a great partner?
And
They are-
negativity, by the
friend.
way, I bet there's some of this negativity has been existing for months and hopefully not years. Oh no, it is years. I was worried about
This-
that.
Yeah, remember, this situation is years old.
Goodness.
But it's been building up very slowly over time. But Scales is in Feraligator form, and he has with him a spectral banner instead of his swords. And whenever you're ready, you can proceed.
Ghostly energy begins pouring from Brooke's body. His skeletal markings beginning to glow, the air kind of dimming around him. And he grins and he says, "But that's fine. The dead I can work with. The dead are invincible. The dead are furious. Because all that you are was taken. So what could possibly threaten you now? Pioneers, knights, citizens of this kingdom, don't fear the loss of something already gone. Give up on your dreams for a savior, no one is coming. Surrender to the idea that tomorrow will never come. Relieve yourselves of the burden of hope. Replace that grief and fear with righteous fury. We are dead, and the dead hold a grudge."
And as you do this, Brooke, what you see, what Tucker begins to see as they're feeding in those connections to you, is all that negativity begins to unwind and unknot, and it becomes a cold flame that begins to burn, embers rising in every single Pokemon in this room. They are so tired of living in this death, being walking corpses for all it matters, and they begin to mutter among themselves, and you can feel them start to rally, and the ghostly energy sweeps and curls across the room. It winds around those connections like grasping hands, pulling them towards your cause. And what you can see, Brooke, is soldiers, living and dead alike.
Schrodinger's army.
And finally, one Pokemon, lifting a fist in the air, lets out a cry. "Let's drag the usurper to his grave!" And there is a cry within this little chamber, raising from 40-some odd voices, disparate, some hoarse, some croaking, some mangled by crystal coloring their throats. And even Lucy seems to have taken heart. Your message is grim, but it's what they needed. Because if there's nothing left to take, they have nothing left to lose.
With that, Brooke steps down from the table and says, "Our target is the castle. We're taking it back.
We have ways to get closer. Tora took Ralph down the passage that leads to the chapel, but we have one that opens up in another place. An old house by the wall.
Wall?
Yeah, there's a wall around the castle. And another Pokemon speaks up. This time it's the Chansey. And hopefully my throat will let me do this. Don't bother. There are archers on the wall, and one of the sorcerers is besides. They stand up. They've got with them this nasty looking flanged mace. Flanged, is it flanged? Flanged mace?
I think so.
I think
That they've
Sounds
got
familiar.
hefted over their shoulder. You probably know how it looks.
Yeah.
The one that looks like a bunch of vertical lines would suck to get hit by.
Right.
We can get in through the aqueduct. The what? A few of the others mutter amongst themselves, starting to nod. Yeah, we got ourselves a little underground river. We've been using it for clean water. But one of our number found a while ago it leads straight to the castle. We haven't been using it because we don't want to lead the knights down here. But if it don't matter anymore... And the Chansey grins and they bring the head of the mace into their other hand. Then we can barge right in. Who's ready for some wine raiding, boys? And that brings up another cheer from at least a couple of the Resistance members.
Brooke just smiles. Sounds like we've got a vector of attack. How ready are we to start the assault?
We need to get some of our equipment on and ready. 30 minutes? They ask it like a question, and the Chansey just looks at them. But while that's happening, Tucker, you had a task given to you.
I'm guessing the emotions, the burdens that Tucker feels shift in energy quite a bit as Brooke does his speech, and a very effective one at that. It probably switches the emotions that he's channeling from this sorrow, this depression, to sort of a grim energy, a motivation, but a grim one, given how Brooke presented his bravado. This is probably the right time for the Dark Pulse. Does it get a special roll, though, given that it's affecting the whole room after a large connection?
So, I'm going to have you roll 20 dice.
Ooh.
We're disregarding stats for this one.
Also, Kyrio, you did amazing. That's one of your best performances.
Well, thank you.
Okay, so what do you want me to do? Full dice, you said?
20 dice.
20 dice, just 20 dice. Okay. Let's see then.
And I think it would be appropriate to change the song to Battles 2 21.
Okay. A 9.
That's a pretty low average.
I mean, it's less than 50%.
Yeah.
It sure is.
Can I will this in any way?
You may. And so can Brooke, actually, if you would like. So, because this is a special roll, I will say that every will point you spend will change a 1 into a 6.
I can spend.
Okay, so if I spend...
You unfortunately only have 1 will to spend until you pass out, unless
Yeah.
you mean to pass out.
I don't think passing out's super useful at the moment. I'll spend 1 will, then.
That won't hurt.
Yeah,
Well,
You've got an army. But you might get left behind a little bit.
True. Actually, you know what? Let's see, you said change a 1 to a 6. So if I change 1 to a 6, I would get a... No effect, actually. I'd have to spend 2 will to get an effect, right?
Brooke has already spent 2 will because he can due to augmentation.
Okay, that brings it to a 9.
Yes, if you spend 1 more, Lucky Champ will erase the effect of the remaining points.
Alright, I'll spend 1 to bring it up 1 more number.
So, that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 successes. That is fortuitous.
Lucky number.
It sure is, in its own little way. Tucker, your domain has never been over severing things. It's always been about the bonds, the connections between things, and how those can change and affect what they are bound to. And you take all that coiled, swirling negativity that's become this burning, cold flame, and you send it back along every chord, every connection that's trailing off into places unseen for you. As you submerge yourself in your power. And you can hear chains. They rattle and writhe around you. And they retreat behind you. And for the first time in a long time, you feel connection. And something snaps taut. I need you to make a vitality roll for me, please.
Okay. Another reason I'm using Dark Pulse is because Dark Pulse's core identity is negative emotions, dark feelings. And there's a lot of negativity stored up at this point with all this sympathy. Or the
Well, there's that bad roll.
Oh, there's the bad roll.
Yep, I said in the next couple sessions, I didn't give you this one. You feel yourself being dragged under. Maybe not physically, but the metaphysical part of you is being pulled into... It feels like it must be an ocean. This immense network of interweaving chains. And you find yourself staring at what must be the entire city. down to the last citizen, every single one bound by these rattling chains, all of them converging on a single point. I need you to take 2 damage for me, please, as you are pulled along with these connections that you are throwing your Dark Pulse upon.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a moment where your Dark Pulse is almost aimless amongst all of these chains, trying to find where it needs to go, and you spot the convergence point. And it might be distant physically from you, but it is ever so close in this realm. And to you, it looks like a door to a throne room. Go ahead and roll Dark Pulse's power at +5.
+5 instead of +3, or +5 in addition to +3?
In addition to +3.
Okay. Okay, that's a bit better.
That's very good. We are going to swap over to Ralph now.
Okay.
Well, Ralph and
My heart's
Ryda, I guess, more technically. Good. Ralph, you are able to see as the Medicham is drawing Ryda toward the plaza. And they seem to be going towards where the raised platform of the stockade is, rather than up towards the balcony. Whatever is happening is intended to be a show. And Tora, very barely tilts their head. They're trying not to draw attention to themselves at the moment because they are a known factor.
Mhm.
Well, shit. That can't be good. That's one of your friends, isn't it?
Yes. That's got even more interesting.
Right. And here I am, prepared for an explosive exit.
Yes. Alright. Now, you would say the king, the quote-unquote king, he had a crown, right?
He does.
Now then, would you say that this crown is an advantage of sorts?
Elaborate. An advantage.
Yeah, an advantage of some sort that one could, say, analyze, and I wanna see if I can take it with Snack. Snack is a special move, so I can do it from a distance. Yeah.
It sure well, it's a status move, so technically it doesn't matter. Go for it. I want to see what you roll for this.
I thought stats was less for more for non-physical things, and you're kind of far away. But let's see.
Yeah, but
yeah, I don't exactly have thief, but when you use Snack in the game, it shows a ghost hand, right? And it's a dark move, so it'll be harder for his psychic goons to detect me.
Your else aspect isn't probability; it's audacity.
Alright. Smart
yeah.
survival stealth. And I'm gonna will this too.
Okay. Pardon me as I Control-C something I might need to send to you.
That was half. Do I hat that? Do I hat half?
I was gonna ask, do you want to hat that?
Yeah, I do hat half.
Okay. I will say you do have the internal feeling that you cannot alter fate so soon.
Yeah.
Thanks for saying so too.
Oh no!
I'm gonna burn. I'm gonna burn my last.
Let's go.
Wow, we're not at the
gambling.
end of the session and we're burning both hats. This is great.
Yeah. I want this to work.
Cha-cha-cha-ching. Oh, well, it's
Yeah.
5. You got better.
On a
Dang it.
5. On a 5, Ralph. What does it look like when you're doing this?
I'm gonna not reach out. I'm gonna yell so much, but like curl, like tilt my head up like I'm holding a soda or something. Like my hand up just ever so slightly, and I imagine it's like a dark energy. In my head, it's like a shadowy haunter hand.
I honestly wonder why Ralph is doing it at this exact moment, but that's a very Ralph sort of question to ask about himself.
So, you can't physically take the crown, but you can temporarily take something else. As this dark hand manifests, and because it's dark type, the psychics in the area aren't gonna sense it, which is perfect because that's how they caught Ryda. And it's going to grasp around a gem on it that's very prominent, and then it's going to slip back to you unseen. I need you to roll swallow.
Swallow. Oh hell yeah! Okay.
You can't keep getting away with this. Y'all are getting away with a lot. Don't say you can't get away with anything.
Honestly, I'm surprised a 5's enough to get away with this.
Well, if he'd rolled higher, he could have gotten away with more.
Yeah, the goal was actually to crush the whole damn thing, but I like where this is going.
Oh no, you wouldn't have been able to crush it, but you would have done something funny.
Also, 7.
Boy howdy, 7, alright. So you actually do manage it.
I take back what I said. That's a good roll.
Shoot. Me scrolling through Why am I scrolling? Just direct message through the group chat. I have sent to you on Discord, which I know might be a difficulty. I can send it to you elsewhere if you need. The effects that you receive for the next hour.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. Oh man, bonus points of heat also lost that.
The way Snatch works, you are stealing their bonuses.
Oh yeah, that is pretty significant.
Oh, wonder what they are exactly. Secret though, for now.
I can share it later.
Okay.
If Ralph wants, he can keep it in secret if he feels like. You can tell Ralph that it didn't have the effect you wanted. And unfortunately, this does count as having used Swallow for the moment. So you will not be able to use Swallow to heal yourself for at least a given period of time. Yeah, that's correct, for an hour. So you cannot use Swallow for an hour, at which point the effects will go away. But you can feel like you've taken something very significant. That crown was important.
Stirring up some shit.
Are you going to do anything else?
I think David would be a good idea.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm so tempted to break out the old lying stick. Be like, I know where the resistance is. Follow me, and we go and chase a fucking giant goose.
Are you sure that is wise, given the number of very obviously elite knights that are standing around?
Yeah. Because they could afford 5% to fucking escort me, and when it's apparent I'm lying, they could just body me, and like it would barely bleed any troops.
It would also be something like 6 different insight checks and or perception checks to see Torakat and or see through your lie. So
yeah, my hilarious lying luck would have to run out at some point.
Just to be nice and warn you.
I probably wouldn't have anyway, but the thought had crossed my mind.
I feel as if something's about to happen in this plaza due to what Tucker's doing too.
All right. Ryda. You are brought to the raised platform where the stockade is. Now, obviously, your old master isn't putting you in the stockade, even though they could. Instead, they set you down before them, in full view of not only the king and queen, but of the Crown's Guard. They bring one hand to their chest as they look up at the balcony to address their lieges. My king, my queen, a night-long errand has returned, and they are here to swear their fealty to the new and united crown. They gesture with their other hand towards you. The Nido King steps forward, placing one hand on the balcony. The way they grin is sickening. It seems to seep with an unseen venom. Go on. Ah, shit, my voice. Go on. Kneel. And swear to your crown your oath anew.
Ryda does as told, taking a knee and lowering their head before them.
As you begin to lower your head, you very briefly see a flicker of darkness around the crown. And its gemstones, beauteous sapphires and rubies, seem to dim ever so slightly.
How strange. I wonder what that could mean. But yes. Ryda takes a knee, lowering their head and speaking in a volume that both, well, as loud as they can while still being respectful.
It's okay. Your master is going to project what kind of looks like a disc in front of you that will amplify things.
Firstly, I beg for your forgiveness for my absence. I know not why I was sent away from our kingdom, as my memory is fragmented and failing me. However, I could never forget my duty, and felt the call back to our kingdom. I ask once more to pledge myself to the crown, and to the kingdom of Kyrio, to serve and protect as is ordered.
Artemisia steps forward. She stares at you with eyes that you can remember. But something about them is hollow. Well, but something about it is hollow. It lacks a luster, like stolen starlight. Lift your head, my knight of Eld.
And
Your
Ryda does so.
oath to your kingdom is renewed. And now you must renew your oath to the crown. And as you lift your head, you can see it's not just the Nidoking, it's not just Artemisia that is watching you expectantly. It is the Crown's Guard that are watching you expectantly. Sir Cheval, Calvin, Leon. And behind you, you can still feel the boring stare of Nymith.
Ryda looks around, and there's this itching feeling in the back of their head, screaming at them not to. But every other part of them is tired of fighting, struggling, and trying to understand, and just wants to give in.
We are going to cut the music briefly. Partially because this voice will not be heard otherwise. Is this your limit? A whisper in your mind. An unseen master. There are no reflections for you to see them in, but you feel them. You feel them writhe, their power squirm in your weapon, as though it is trying to live again. Hast thou forgotten? Justice to be served. A sundered kingdom to be repaid. A You may.
Ryda holds their breath before letting out a deep exhale. I know what I must do, but at the same time, here I stand with a choice: to return to a broken kingdom of lies with open arms. It may not be the home I once knew, but I'd have my queen, my mistress I tried so hard to retain. I'd have my kingdom, those I once knew and held dear to my heart. But it'd be a lie, an easy lie to accept.
And would you be satisfied with a lie?
Ryda grits their teeth and clenches a fist. Everything I've known has always been a lie. Every memory I've been living up till now, just another lie I keep telling myself again and again. I've grown tired of it. I've grown tired of it all. I'm done with these lies. I will do what must be done, bring justice, and return what has been taken from me. No more will be taken from me.
Rise, Harbinger, and pass judgment. They slip away, and we can resume the music. You have acquired a new power.
Yep.
With that, Ryda looks up and stands proudly. Forgive me, mistress. My loyalty is always to you. But you are not in your right mind. No one here is. And you are the plague that caused it. And Ryda looks directly at the Nidoking.
Their sneer curls into a snarling scowl. Your master is far too late to cut off the power that they have been projecting. Everyone heard this. Ralph, around you, the citizens begin to stir in unrest, in fear and concern. They whisper of the resistance. They whisper a threat to their home, to their crown. The Nidoking's horn begins to gleam, and with it, the crystals of all. You dare! He doubles over the balcony and coughs up an ink-black ichor. As Tucker, your dark pulse punches through the door, invading him. He has no choice and the chains of those around the resistance fall away. Your mind is too deep into this space to see. But Brooke, you can see those around you. The crystals on their bodies, those infected, have dimmed and lost their luster. The Needle King pounds a fist onto the balcony, causing it to crumble with a thunderous thud. I don't know what you've done. You little wretch. But you will speak differently to your king.
You are no king of mine.
Well said. For a second, you had me worried. As the Nido King looks up with wild eyes, and Ralph and Ryda, you can see Deadeye standing on the top of the roof.
Alright, Deadeye's here.
Yeah! And ozone begins to permeate the area. The scent of it overpowering everything else as electricity screams across his scales. Remember me, Gemhorn. You. You're already dead if you're here. Oh. No welcome for an old friend. There is a sky-clearing snap as lightning crashes down on the balcony. And it crumbles. Sir Cheval grabs Gemhorn and leaps, while the Machamp takes hold of Artemisia and pulls her deeper into the building. Still won't finish the job. Knights! Attack! Gemhorn yells, as those guards present begin to brandish their weapons towards you and Deadeye, Ryda. Your master stands not 5 feet away, and they begin to spin the rings on their arms. Their look of disappointment could be mistaken for one of apathy. You had a chance. I suppose this is all we could have expected from a coward. As the gems on their rings begin to glow, and several that you had not seen before on their back also begin to gleam. Ralph and Ryda, what do you want to do?
Well, I definitely got to get up there. I'm at the front, right?
Yes, you are currently at the front. There are guards that are beginning to close in on the stockade platform where Ryda is. Ryda is currently standing alone, having to face off against the Medicham that you met earlier, who was quite dangerous. And
all right, we give a quick whisper to my scarf, like, if you're running, do it now. And I'm going to dart into that clearing, and I'm gonna try and jump and use psychic to like kind of sort of fly like up to the platform, so I can like yell, if we're going down, we're going down together. I am messing with RNA. Okay.
alrighty. I require... you know what? Let's just do a strength fight brawl for you pushing past the guards. Right now, the civilians are in a panic and trying to leave the area.
Wait, hold on. Disregard that. I need to check. Okay. Alright. Disregard that. I needed to look at something.
I wonder where Deadeye parks. I wonder where Deadeye parked our gear. Probably not here. I imagine.
God, my strength fight brawl is a lot.
It sure is.
Oof.
That's still a
I must be
5, which isn't bad. Well, you did use Giga Impact earlier. But in all seriousness, 5 is not bad. It's just a very good roll for you overall. So even below average is enough to get you there.
Yeah, I am very strong, especially when I'm belly drummed.
Yep. So you're like elbowing and shoving past guards to get to the stockade. And like they're totally bewildered at this random Snorlax that has decided to make this the hill that they want to die on. So you at least give a couple of them pause, especially when you're able to send at least one armored fellow literally flying a couple feet in the air just by shoving them. Tora, meanwhile, just sighs and puts on their hat again. It's like, really? Well, I guess this was always going to be a spectacle. All right, people. If you want your freedom back, now's the time. And her bell begins to glow, and then she does this little twist where she lifts her head up and bats it in the air with the back of one paw. Kill the king!
I'll echo that. Down with the phony king!
John Lennon.
As
The phony king of this place.
I knew what you were... as the bell reaches its zenith, it bursts in fire and light. If you wanted to run, if you wanted to get any sort of distance or advantage or positioning, this is your one chance to do it. It is very loud, I should mention.
I think the strongest position I can get in is directly in front of Ryda. That way there's at least a near about 900-pound wall of Snorlax to have to get through to hurt her.
But I get in the line before everyone starts throwing grenades and jumping.
Sure.
But yeah, after the remark from Nihilith, Ryda expresses, "Forgive me, Master. I know you are not in your right mind. I will free you. And perhaps afterwards you can chide me then. But until then, you are my enemy, nothing more.
Then let us see if the student will surpass the master. As they begin to sweep their arms, the rings begin to duplicate until they form a chain of chakram behind them that completes an Ouroboros circle, sweeping, passing over each other. And then Ralph interposes himself in front of you. Big Kingdom Hearts Guardian style. Ah, you.
Me?
We suspected you. This is unsurprising.
Oh, yeah, I found better workouts where I didn't work out.
Your fate shall be the same as my students. The same as those who rebel against our king. All that is left is submission and death. And stepping out from the guards that line up behind Master Nihilith is a Delphox with a crystal stave. Let's see here. They sweep it in a circle. And this arcane sigil appears on the ground, taking up the entire platform. And are either of you going to react to this?
Yep.
Arcane Sizzle on the ground.
At this point, it's clear that we're outnumbered very hard here. Correct?
Yes. Aside from regular guards, there's no fewer than 3 actual Crystal Knights that are present, in addition to the sorceress that just did a thing.
Well, Ryda is just going to mutter to Ralph, body slam. And they're going to use teleport.
Alright.
Oh.
They're going to teleport directly behind the wizard trying to cast a spell. And have Ralph aim directly at them.
Alright. Dex flying broad in.
You two may roll for your moves.
I am very strong.
You sure are, Ralph. I've got a spell for you. It's called Obliterate. Ralph, go.
Like a summoning familiar.
Oh, gosh.
Fucking. What's that chugging and whistling sound? I like to imagine there's like a fucking, like, if this were a video game, like, you would hear the sound of, like, a train whistle.
Oh boy!
See it coming.
Yeah, you sure as heck slam into Nihilith, who was not expecting that to happen. Good job, Dice. Ryda, where are you teleporting to?
Let's see.
I was gonna teleport us definitely off the stage,
Ah, no,
getting
no,
some distance. Actually, would I have been able to see where the monarchs went off to, other than just retreating back to the balcony?
You would have seen, briefly, Artemisia getting pulled into the building away from the balcony, because the balcony isn't there anymore. It's destroyed by whatever Deadeye just did. He probably used thunder or something even stronger. But you have no idea where Sir Cheval took Gemhorn.
I should have mentioned the body slam actually should have been even more accurate because I forgot stab. Like, oh God, I am a fucking powerhouse.
Oh boy. Hey Ralph, go ahead and roll your damage for body slam. 'Cause, my assumption is that Ryda is hanging on to Ralph.
Yeah, like they grabbed on to the back of Ralph.
Okay. I just want to see how
There
badly
it
you
is.
bruise
What's
Nihilith with your surprise belly flop.
I believe that's 6 because ones don't count for damage.
Yes. Okay, so it's not too terrible. As they very quickly right themselves with psychic power. Do not let them escape.
And then poof. Damn it, they escaped.
Where do you teleport to?
That's a good question. So where's Deadeye from our position?
He was on the roof of the city council building. But he ain't there no more. He gone.
Alright. Well then, I guess we should regroup. So Ryda's just gonna find a relatively crowded looking section where people are running away and try to get us into that crowd.
There are crowds currently running away. There. And off in the direction that you came from initially.
I'll go to the direction I came from originally, because I've seen that area at the very least, so easier to teleport to.
Okay. Could you please roll for teleport again at a -2? Just to see if you end up displacing any poor civilians, because this is probably going to be messy. Ah, all right.
I'm an expert.
Well, Ralph's little stunt took enough time that the crowds are not nearly so thick as you would like, but it does mean that there is enough space for you to teleport yourself, Ralph, and Tora, who is still on Ralph's shoulders, out of the way just fine. And you managed to teleport your little group in between like a couple groups of civilians that are just fleeing and trying to get away from this area. However, that does attract the attention of Nihilith, who immediately looks over to where you are, as well as a certain pair of knights that start attempting to jog your way, but they are kind of in armor.
Do I also have eye contact with little Miss
Nihilith
Mage?
is the Peritune.
Thank you. There's a lot of names.
Oh, the infected, yeah, the sorceress. For simplicities, I've just made all the sorceresses Delphox, so
I have eye contact too.
yes, you do.
I'm gonna, when she locks eyes with us, I'm gonna give her the one finger salute.
Yes, they've been typecasted, but it's also for my sanity. Shush. Magic witch covens and nonsense. Fuck, Tor is a witch, so shush. So, your group is not out of the woods yet. And I'm going to treat this kind of like a skill challenge.
Yeah.
So, what else are you all doing to escape? Because you are too close to the plaza to have escaped the whole way.
You got any ideas, Ralph? I feel like using more psychic abilities isn't going to help us escape from Nihilith.
Yeah.
It's pretty much all I have.
Nice, okay. Let's see. Let me take a look at my notebook.
I will say you can always choose to just run, in which case that will be like a physical check.
Yeah. I am gonna swing out on a limb, and since I don't have electric as one of my moves I can choose, I'm gonna throw out a status metronome.
Status metronome.
Yeah.
Let's go get big.
Any specific type or just status?
I like it to be an electric.
Okay, because I know you can't select electric right now. I didn't know if any of your other types you wanted to select status from. But those aren't status-heavy types, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fucking do the old DBZ trick to get away when you're weaker than your opponent. Solar flare!
Kiko-ho! But yes, you may roll your metronome.
I think I want to mark Nihilith with Mark of Justice.
You may do so.
I always forget. It's current will, right?
No, it's max will.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if a move asks for will, it's generally your max will, unless like the storyteller specifies otherwise.
I didn't get a chance to use the mark all before the royals fled.
You wanted to mark everybody.
Well,
yeah,
right now just Nihilith, but before everyone would have fled, I wanted to, but didn't get a chance. It's fine though.
Yeah, unfortunately, they are out of the picture for the moment, so they would not have gotten marked.
Oh, so Hall of Judgment wasn't actually used. It was just a ping.
No.
Yeah.
I would have loved to use it though. Damn. Lots of wins. That's wins. But I still. Oh wait, that had a -2 accuracy penalty too. I didn't account for. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it has a natural -1 accuracy.
Should I re-roll that or?
We can just subtract 1, which that still makes it 3, I think,
Yeah.
or 2.
3. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Boy, it sure is a good thing you have Lucky Chant, and there aren't enemies that can get rid of Lucky Chant. So you are able to mark Nihilith.
Nice.
Which means you will be able to know where they are.
Mm-hmm. And it's harder for them to evade and hit me.
Indeed, which will be useful at another time. Oh, right, and Ralph rolled for Metro. Good.
Mm.
All right, let's see here. But pardon me for taking a little bit of time.
He's okay. We understand we're doing a lot of shenanigans.
Was Liar with Deadeye?
He was, yes.
Oh, it was. Okay.
Also, to comment on the thing you mentioned before, Tucker, of Ryda noticing the random black goo that came out, Ryda was confused, because they certainly didn't do that, unless it was Eternatus. But they kind of just shrugged and was like, well, I'll take it. Anyway.
You kind of got blamed for it, so.
Go ahead and roll me 2 dice, Ralph.
It's fitting, though, because now people think, like, Ryda's some kind of witch that causes that, which is a fun prospect.
Oh yeah, the Nidoking has no idea what happened either. Tucker did not get that close.
Mm. I just think Ryda's some kind of heretic witch.
So he was probably paying less attention to what Tucker was doing, given he was kind of busy with an audience.
Ralph?
Mm-hmm.
Tubby?
Ruff.
Could you roll me 2 dice, please, so I can
Yes,
determine...
indeed.
Because I could do the roll to determine, but I'd rather you be the one doing the rolls because it's your thing. And also, it's your luck, which makes it funnier.
Yeah. My RNG privilege is pretty hilarious sometimes.
6. You get Quash. So go ahead and roll your tough contest intimidate. your target, whatever target it is going to go last in initiative order, by which effectively you become so intimidating that they have to think twice before they do anything.
Oh, he's a tough contest to intimidate.
To which I'm curious, what are you using this metronome on?
I'm kind of just fired it behind me, but since I last had eye contact with the Delpha, I imagine her.
So I'm imagining that Ralph just cast this JoJo level, like, evil look behind him as he's running off, and like the guards have to take a second. They're like, maybe this is not a great idea. They did just kind of attack the king in the open. And the sorceress does not want to go closer to you at the moment. They don't.
They did watch me shoulder some of the other guards out of the way in this fight.
Yeah. Luckily, they don't have to. They get magic. Nihilith, however, the Medicham, will bring their rings back together and around their arms, and they stare back. However, I will count that as a success. Ryda, are you doing anything besides the mark at this stage?
I'd imagine Ryda is kind of just clinging on to Ralph, since he'd probably be able to push through any crowd easier. So they're kind of holding on and looking back.
Alrighty. That's not great. Tora is currently clinging for their life, being jostled, and one of the bombs under their hat slips out, and
I totally forgot we had a bomb person.
Yeah, so I need Ralph and Ryda to both make evasion rolls to see if they get singed at all by the unintended incendiary device.
Next fight evade. Man, having 5 fight die is gonna be so just sexy and awesome.
I have 11 evasion. I'm good. Light work.
You reach the intersection. What direction are you going? As Tora's like, well, shit, I hope nobody actually got hurt by that. You know, that isn't a jerk. As y'all are running away from the explosion.
You're the one running, Ralph. You decide.
You effectively got north, which leads to another, like, corner towards more crowds and towards, like, the main gate. There is south, because y'all have passed the chapel at this point. There's south, which you can probably wind around some streets, maybe get to the abandoned shop at some point. And there's east, which is relatively narrow and packed with other Pokemon right now, but you might be able to lose the guards in that direction.
Let's see. North is risky because it's closer to where income. South is closer to the castle, and east we might get bystanders hurt. And I'm not about getting bystanders hurt, so south it is.
Alrighty. And for the sake of time, you all will have one more round of checks. Is there anything specific you are doing? Of note, there is another thunderclap in the distance, and a distant flash. Wherever Deadeye is, he found something to hit.
That's good. That's good. Let's see. We started a fire. Then I started a fire. Wonder if Brooke started a fire.
Yeah.
8 out of 10. So,
Kinda did.
Started a fire.
I feel like a lot of history books are going to be like, and it was this way until these fuckers showed up.
They started the fire.
I thought about rolling for a fire move and just like fucking. Okay, you guys have to deal with that. Bye. Arson, the answer.
I like to imagine as Ryda's clinging on and looking back as Ralph is booking it down the street. They kind of just have the realization set in of what they done. And just sort of do a slight chuckle to themselves. And Ralph can audibly hear Ryda express, I can't believe I've just done that.
Indeed. I think I'm gonna chamber another stockpile.
Okay.
Oh yeah, did that snatch actually like give him a benefit?
It sure did. It's not one that he's needed, luckily.
Okay.
I'm also not entirely prepared for combat at this time. The session is almost at its end.
I'm gonna rechamber my stockpile just to be ready for stuff.
Yep. Oh, right, that's a buff. Which is... Oh, yeah, your defense is good. I'm sorry, remind me, Ryda, are you doing anything specific, or am I having you guys do a physical roll?
Just a physical roll. Ryda doesn't really
Okay.
have anything they can do at this time.
Okay. If y'all would not mind, give me a tough survival athletic.
I am pretty tough.
Hold it on for dear life.
Alrighty. Well, together that will be enough to make your escape for the moment. Question, since you're at this intersection, are you heading towards the castle? Are you heading towards the wall? Are you heading towards the shop? Are you going some other fifth direction I don't know about?
Yeah.
As running, I guess I'll ask Reddit. Yo, you haven't met your resistance guys. We'll get there. Guess I'll try to path back towards that.
Alrighty. Hey chat, should I be nice and let the party group up again?
Is it nice for you or nice for us?
I honestly wonder if you're leading like troops to the resistance base now, but I don't know. Maybe you did lose them. I don't know.
It might be a little hard to say at the moment, but they have quote-unquote escaped. But yeah, now everybody's very aware of your presence in the city, but that seems to be by design.
Yeah.
But as we swap scenes again, we can change to Dungeons 1:17.
Good, I can finally ask my question. Oh, Dungeons 117. Interesting choice. Alright.
Yes, what is your question?
Well, I mean, technically, when it comes to switching seats, Tucker was left on a cliffhanger, technically. If I remember, because it's been a little bit, actually been over an hour, so I have to remember a little bit, but Tucker metaphysically crashed through that door, which I think was, I was going to ask, is it the same door that the Nido King prevented access to when Tucker first metaphysically met him?
Yes.
Okay. And Tucker had enough good rolls to smash through that door. So what's on the other side was the other question.
Well, that's going to depend. Because as the chains start falling away from that door, do you really want to dive deeper?
There is a curiosity in Tucker, but if he can feel that the chains are falling away, then he will pull back. He's needed physically, too, after all.
Alrighty. But imagine the plot. Yeah, imagine the mind fight you're going to have when you're at one will and extremely fragile in the brain space.
Well, Tucker's ready to throw that will into the door if needed, too. Which would have been dangerous, but you know.
It would have been dangerous because you'd be conked out. Go ahead and give me a... Goodness, your social stats are almost maxed. Give me an insight survival will. Max will, not current will.
Okay.
To navigate your way back to your, puppy meat suit properly.
Navigate back to body and mind synergy. Okay.
You return and you feel exhausted, as is appropriate for your current will count. Like, you slump, you find that your autonomic processes must be working correctly because you're already panting, trying to cool yourself down. As the resistance base is this buzz of activity. You know, the Pokemon that know they can fight are being given the best equipment that is on offer. Those that can wear, pieces of armor who can withstand the weight of it are being given pieces of armor that they have available. They're being handed weapons if they can handle weapons. Like, any garments that might be had or spare, might be passed from, say, a pioneer member who's not exactly in the most fighting shape over to, a civilian that's getting armored up and ready as necessary. All of them are working in concert to get ready and move out as soon as possible. And Lucy, for her part, is kind of looking a mix of determined, nervous, and relieved.
Tucker will immediately need to lean against something, a wall, an object, a barrel, something like that, and will look at the situation, the bustle, and definitely tell the energy has changed. Tucker will glance over to Brooke as he tries to catch his breath and recover, and express, I did it. The chains here, they're broken. I broke that door, however briefly. It's, Tucker may or may not notice that the crystals have dimmed on the people in the room. I imagine Brooke, being a little more physically present, probably noticed, though. I may as well ask as Kyrio types, is there any indication to Tucker that the Nidoking was hurt by this?
There wasn't anything that you yourself could see.
Mm-hmm. Given the strong focus on the chains and not the Nidoking, so figured as much. But
Yep.
I figured I'd ask. I guess I'll ask one other thing. How's that crystal in the pod doing? Not that Tucker still probably knows about it, or doesn't know about it still probably.
It's like pebble in shoe sensation, but otherwise it hasn't gotten worse.
I always like to do a little checkup per session on that, just in case.
Oh, it's okay. You haven't been hit by any crystal attacks in a while.
Well, as far as Tucker knows, he hasn't been hit by them at all. That's actually a good question, too, what Kyrio just said.
Oh, yeah, that is a great question. Hey, so retroactively, give me an insight survival alert at a -4 due to the sheer number of chains.
Okay. Alright, I'll do that. Yeah, okay. It's gonna be 7. And for the sake of the audience, what Kyrio said was, I wonder if Tucker saw one of the connections led to him with the chains when in the metaphysical space. Good point.
Unfortunately, 4 is not enough.
Alright, that's fair. There's a lot going on there.
Yeah, it's hundreds of chains. So unfortunately, yours is lost. No. You're okay, Kyrio, for being voiced out. Mine is my throat's kind of starting to go because I still got like a scratchy throat from being sick. So I will do mine.
Yeah.
I saw, Burke says with a smile, giving him a head pat. You did great, Tuck. It was a lot to ask of you, so take a few minutes to rest. We'll be heading out soon.
Tucker is grateful for the pat, as always, and does stand up a bit straighter after it. Yeah, I think I'll be fine. It knocked the wind out of me a little bit, but I'm ready. Anytime.
It takes a bit longer than was predicted, unfortunately, for the Resistance members to get prepared. And unfortunately, some of them are just not fighting fit. But they are still willing to lay down their lives, such as they are, to see this stalemate end. And the decision is made, mostly out of Brooke and Lucy's pause, that they are going to remain at the back as a rear guard. They don't know what's going to happen, and they don't want anyone else getting caught in ambush.
I have a question. Since they have injured parties here, I assume they lack healing supplies, probably, right?
There's medical supplies around. It's just a matter of their injuries are either the long-term kind that they just have not recovered from yet, or they are relatively fresh to the point where they have not recovered yet.
I see. Okay, just wondering. I was wondering if Tucker needed to selflessly give up his root cells. It would be a Tucker thing to do.
You can hand out healing supplies if you wish, but I will say that it might be better to just save those for yourselves.
Yeah, there's a both the mechanically and in story wise, there's a reason to keep them, of course. Actually, Tucker will go ahead and take a second to apply a root salve to himself. It is not a selfish action to keep them. It is logical considering that they're more fighting fit than a lot of these people. So, since they're gonna, be in front of things, especially, so yeah, a root salve will be used to heal because it'll take Tucker a second to realize, oh crap, that didn't just exhaust me, that, actually hurt. In the metaphysical space, it's not so easy to tell immediately, but coming out of it, I wonder, I guess physical damage being taken in that situation is I would imagine that's I don't know, the body seizing up while you're in the physical space and you hurt something, you sprain something. That's kind of what I imagine. What happened there?
Yeah, a psychosomatic effect.
Yeah. Anyways, I'll fix my HP.
I'm also looking around because I could swear that, Ryda had made will potions, but I think everybody drank them.
I think
They
we
were
did.
most definitely drank.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody drank the will potions. Oh, man. If only Ryda had more time to make more. I feel like will potions are almost better than HP potions for y'all.
Maybe, yeah.
For me, directly so, because I could full heal on one will.
Yeah, and
Okay,
unfortunately,
I'm
Ralph
taking
is...
orders. I'll make some more will when we have chance.
Yeah, a couple of you are sitting at low will, which is about as frightening as being low HP.
It's fine. When Tucker runs out of will, it's usually with a very strong effect, so whatever.
Yep. Yeah, unfortunately, running out of will does not usually have the effect of the primal state, so...
Oh, it's bad. It's just... it could do a lot with that explosion of lost will. But yeah,
Yes. Now, it takes about 45 minutes rather than 30 to get yourselves ready. But within that time, one of the rebels that has been keeping watch over the hatch runs back. Tora's back with her new big friend and another smaller one. And behind them is Ralph with Tora and Ryda in tow. Can't justify things taking longer without you guys actually getting to group up. Well, hey, gang's all back together, mostly.
Tucker will be fairly happy to have finally found Ralph, for one. Hey, you guys. What's up out there? How are things going?
I'll wait for Kyrio's then.
Excited.
That's quite fair, if you want to wait for that. Excited?
That's certainly a way to describe it.
Things are going excited.
And there's an audible exciting.
It might be prudent to Ryda that Brooke can be seen giving approval and orders to people around him. There is no question that he's taking command of the resistance. That the morale in the room is unusually high. He glances up and says, "Glad you can make it."
I'm glad to see everything is working out on your end. We ran into some Pokemon I used to know, and I was brought before everyone where I proclaimed that I would kill the false king. Deadeye was also there for a moment. They seem kind of chipper about the fact that they proclaimed in front of everyone they were going to kill the king.
Ralph will kind of raise his, "Oh yeah, and they know I'm with you guys too." Derpy smile.
I expected nothing less. Well, let's not make a liar out of you, Brooke grins. We're storming the castle. Hell yeah!
Oh.
the Chansey hefting up their maces, they walk across the screen.
With pleasure.
Bum, 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 bum.
Tucker will speak up. "Oh yeah, I don't know if you guys heard, but... well, Purloin's there too, apparently. We're gonna do our best to save her, if we can."
If we're not having this conversation again.
Understood. I have yet to encounter them on my own.
Be glad. Lucy's sister might be dressed like a squire, but she's just as dangerous as the rest of the Crown's Guard.
It is also important to know the king may be afflicted with some kind of illness.
An illness? Tucker questions.
He retched up some kind of black ichor while on his stand.
If, Brooke says sternly, we'll do what we can. But we all resigned ourselves to death just by coming here. So let's make the most of it.
Tucker seems to think about Ryda's information about the king, but probably doesn't have the ability to put two and two together. There was, after all, nearly an hour of time. Also, out of character moment. Tucker is expressing the thing about Purloin because Tucker is aware that Ryda might just cut down whoever's in the way. So if possible, maybe stay the blade on that particular Pokemon if possible.
I will say for out of character, because this not a way I could express it in character at the moment, but Ryda's intent to kill has shifted.
There is a particular
They aren't
focus.
looking to hurt any one of their fellow citizens if they can avoid it.
Yeah, there's no way to easily express that, but that is good to know. I kind of figured, actually, but...
After all, they are the people Ryda swore to serve and protect.
Well, Purloin isn't one of those people that you're sworn to, but technically still somebody we want to try to protect if possible.
Yes, Ryda has become less murder, murder, kill, kill, murder, murder, and more this specific bastard needs to die.
Rise now, stand and fight, claim your kingdom, claim your right. Rise
Directing the
now,
rage.
stand and sing, storm the castle, kill the king. It's a Jonathan Young song, Storm the Castle. I encourage everyone to look it up and get hyped.
Well, for the sake of time, and also to get us to an area that's more appropriate to why I picked this song, once everyone is ready, the Chansey leads everyone to where an underground river cuts through one of the tunnels that the Resistance have been digging out. One that's an offshoot of the same tunnel that generally leads to the chapel. And you notice that the water is a bit high for a number of Pokemon, but there really isn't much choice as you all begin wading through it. And as you travel, it goes from being a natural thing that they just sort of stumbled upon to worked stone, built up and put together. It's a relatively narrow space, all told, especially for those of you who are large. And at one point or at some points, it does require actual swimming, but thankfully not enough that those present cannot help each other past the minor obstacle that requires being able to hold your breath more than 15 seconds.
Should be manageable.
Mostly. Some people have trouble with 10. Everyone has different lung capacities.
Yeah.
And soon enough, you come across a grate. And it is here that the more nimble-fingered of the Resistance members manage to carefully pry it off of its moorings.
That's good. I would have just crushed it open.
Oh, they want to storm the castle, right. But the element of the surprise is important. And given how long things took them, how long it's taken to get here,
Yeah.
they've no doubt that there's at least some forces back in the castle. But there's probably many, many more searching the city still.
Also, you want to be a little stealthy if you got to get like more than 12 Pokemon through a small choke point. Like, best not to make noise until everybody's out of that situation first.
Yeah.
As they move the grate aside, Brooke, you are the first to set foot into the castle. And, just like the Chansey said, it's a cellar. You have to sort of stretch your back a bit, since this last bit of travel was low. And you can see why. The aqueduct runs along the floor, leading to a pipe that you, and now the rest of the Resistance, are crawling out from. The place does not smell terribly musty. But you do notice that many of the places where barrels or kegs of wine and other fine beverages would be kept are empty. There are only a few sparse ones left, scattered here and there in the cellar space. Not terribly much larger from the widened chamber where you gave your rallying speech. There is a small staircase leading up to a sturdy wooden door at the far end of the room, as your only point of ingress into the castle and what awaits within. And that is where we're ending tonight, everybody.
Not bad cliffhanger, I'd say.
Oh, this is
Not-
getting juicy.
Not evil storyteller worthy cliffhanger, but still appreciable.
We gotta have a cliffhanger on every end episode. Also, Brooke's coat is now wet, isn't it?
It sure is.
Just wanted to point that out.
Yep,
Might want to mark
Brooke's
that.
coat is quite wet. So we will need to remember that it has a chance to disable moves that hit him,
Yep.
which is something that we keep forgetting.
That's why I figured I'd mention it, just because I figured if I did it, nobody would remember next session. So play at the end.
I have something that might work as a token.
Sure.
I can send it in the group chat.
Oh yeah, let me go ahead and make a little thing for it then. Go ahead and group chat it.
I made
No,
this for my player because they have an ice shield, so to keep track of when it's active or not, I just have that and just flip it based on whatever side is needed at the time.
Okay.
I just tinted a Lucky Chant token for the interim.
Actually, that's perfect because it's blue on mine. Okay, yeah. Can't you do a double-sided token? I think you can.
Possibly.
I know one of the things
Double-sided tile.
that you can do double-sided tile
Yeah.
token.
Tile.
Well,
Just need to farm the tile. It's quick. Own it.
Yeah, I hope everybody has enjoyed the session.
very much so.
I can tell that Kyrio enjoyed it. I'm so glad that I got to give y'all basically equal screen time instead of it being lopsided for any period. That awesome speech made by player getting to bounce off of that. Like, the only thing that's not working out in your favor that y'all did not go quiet enough and just like sleep for a day.
Oh, sorry.
But I mean, the faster this gets done, the better, right?
Well,
Oh, see, that's one
they
place to
also
post
have
it.
less time to prepare and gather their senses.
So put it there. Except whatever Kyrio wants. Kyrio,
I'd
what do you
also
want?
like to say for outside outside gameplay, Ryda, when they came down to that accepting becoming a knight again, if it wasn't for Eternatus, they probably would have went through with it and ratted out Ralph immediately.
See, the problem with that is Eternatus has a vested interest in you, and you made a deal. There would be entirely different problems for this kingdom if you decided to renege on it.
Oh, you imagine fucking.
Imagine that's Ryda's
Fucking
gambit. If I just
Satan.
go against the deal, he'll lay rampage to everyone else.
Satan,
Oh.
just fucking Satan God
Oh,
descends from the fucking sky.
Kyrie is saying, assume the outside battle would be more of a more of distraction. That time was at a premium. Oh, it's still at a premium. It absolutely is. Deadeye can only distract them for so long, and Gemhorn is not going to stay out there with Deadeye being a nuisance.
Huh. That's weird. I having a graphical glitch for the game's lighting. This just happened all of a sudden. Did somebody do something weird with the table? Change the lighting, perhaps, somehow?
No.
Did anybody, like, in the last 2 minutes, did anybody do something?
No?
That's really strange. The last thing I did before I saw it happen was I added this token, and then... Huh. I can show it on stream very easily. If I zoom in here, it fixes, but if I zoom back out, it breaks. That's really strange.
It's like everything has a blur effect on it.
Yeah, do you see what I mean? If you look at the stream.
Yeah.
Sorry to randomly interject. It's just I've never seen this before.
That is odd.
That is very strange. It actually makes it dims everything. I don't like that. I'm gonna have to see about that after. I'll end the video, try to figure out what's causing that. But yeah, how much experience did we get?
I am giving all of you, from like the excellent roleplay and just everything and the progress you've made, I'm giving everybody, I'm going to say 7 XP this time.
Okay.
Because y'all accomplished things this session.
7. There.
Alright, 30.
Side note, holy crap, Mala did a super quick turnaround on the memery image with Ralph.
Yeah, that was a very good session. And very good work, Kyrio, on the voice acting. I could tell you prepped that in advance. Like you said, I think you said you did. But, okay, has everybody added their experience?
I sure have.
Okay, then. Let's do a table save.
Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you very much for the session.
Thanks for the session, indeed.
If I
Thanks
could
for
have
being players.
one of you is willing to stick around, I want to test something with the table with you after I end the video.
Alright.
Okay, Tubby, you can help me with that. Just, I'm having a weird problem. It'd be good to have somebody for multiplayer, just to test it. But all the same, I hope you guys enjoyed session 160. And we will see 161, and that might... I feel like, I don't know if that'll be our conclusion for this side adventure. Or this chapter, I guess you could say. But it'll be at least the second to last, I imagine. I imagine we'll get close to the end on session 161 for this particular adventure. So, I hope to see you guys in 2 weeks for that. More videos to come, of course, in the meantime besides that. And I hope y'all enjoy.